I think we're starting to run out of show ideas because this football club is just not really giving us much of a, I don't know, not really much, I guess, to complain about is probably the best way to put it. That being said, we shouldn't have to do a show only to complain. So we're going to try not to complain too much today and bring you some comedic, informative entertainment. Ryan's here. Glenn's here. Yeah, I don't know. That's all I got. How's it? Welcome into another episode of Loose Cannons. We are at season 2, episode 16 for the season. Glenn, how are you, sir? It's very dark where you are. Oh, wait.
Doing fine.
You were muted. Got it. But we're good.
Oh.
We're good.
Yes, doing fine.
Good. He's a man of few words.
Hi, Glenn from AFC New York here. I'm a little bit tired because I'm working on my first trip to the Emirates and AFC. I have the first part done. I'm going to release it in 2 parts. The first part will be released this weekend, and I'm very excited for you all to see it. Was that fucking long enough?
Oh, it's like 2 minutes and 8 seconds.
Oh,
I'm gonna start doing over-unders on when the first F-bomb gets dropped. So, and Ryan, how are you, sir? Fresh haircut, looks like.
Oh, thank you. I do. Yeah, it's 7 a.m. this morning, so I'm tired too. Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm definitely excited. There's a lot of I don't want to say there's a lot of things to talk about, but there's definitely stuff that we could definitely get into. I think there's one player in particular that I am excited to talk about, especially with the man below me,
who we can't see because it's so bloody dark.
Oh, for fuck's sake! And then it's too bright if I put on the other thing. Look,
no, it's not too bright at all.
It's not bright at all, Clint.
It's not bright at all. It looks great.
Must be me.
It's definitely
okay. I'll leave it this way if you want to shut up.
Hey, you know what? We like to see you.
I'm sorry. I'm looking forward to whatever Ryan just teased. So let's move. Let's do it.
He has no idea. That's what I like.
Yeah, he doesn't have no idea. He doesn't have any. He doesn't have no idea. Jesus, man, I speak very well English.
Is this? Wait. Is this a ruse?
I don't know.
I'm sorry. I always wanted to use that word.
What's a ruse?
A ruse. A ruse. It's like
a trick.
I'm kidding. Yeah, I know what a ruse is. I was kidding. You guys really think I am that dumb? Okay, cool.
Yeah, you guys got your headlines ready because we're gonna do.
I forgot about that. But
then Glenn or I can go first. It's too loud. You're too old.
Me with how loud that was.
Yeah.
Cover my ears. I have headphones on, so it just made it louder.
Yeah, I don't know why. I'll have to figure out, see if I can adjust the volume on it.
Oh, by the way, in case you're wondering, my wife during the week works downstairs in my little YouTube space, so I'm in my son's room where farts never die. Go ahead.
Where farts never die.
It just always smells like farts in here. Go.
Interesting. You got a headline, Glenn, or you want me to go first?
Please go first, because I got to think.
It's one word, and the word is domination. I watched the game on replay. I had to work. I could not watch it live, which is very unfortunate. Shout out Steel City Gooners. We are really, really coming together as a group now and getting a massive turnout to Cork Harbor Pub in Lawrenceville. For those of you who might be in Pittsburgh watching this show and have never been there, that's where we watch the games. But they sent me some pictures of the entire group from Saturday while I was at work, and a fantastic turnout. So anyway, I had to watch the game on replay when I got home from work, and I actually survived the radio silence that I went through all night at work without looking at my phone, getting any alerts. I turned off everything.
And don't forget sending threatening text messages.
Oh, I said, and believe me, you two weren't the only ones that got them either. Real Ryan got one. OG got one. Glenn, you got the same one. Couple of my buddies that I work with got one that weren't at work with me. And my brother got one. So, but anyway, I get home, I turn on the match, and I'll say 15 minutes in, I really, really thought that it was going to be one of those, here we go, we're going to dominate everything, and we're not going to score. It's going to be that game where we're just going to lack that quality in the final third to just finish. And then obviously, we win the game 4-1. And that really, so I'll go back to West Ham, and I said a few weeks ago that I felt like we snatched their soul out of their body, and they just kind of gave up. We were running at them. They just didn't seem interested to me. And I know Ryan doesn't agree with me. I look back, to Burnley. I say, at least Burnley tried to play with us a little bit. And our quality, I think, shone through there, where we're an infinitely better side than you. And we proved it. This game against Newcastle was, I look at it the same as I look at Burnley, but I think what we suffocated them. I think this game against Newcastle, given the quality that they have, was an indication of just how good we can really be in every area of the pitch, because I feel like this was a complete and total domination from one goal line to the other. They couldn't do anything. And they just and they eventually gave up even trying to do anything, because they couldn't complete 2 passes at one point in the game without us winning the ball back. And like I said, I think West Ham, they're not on our level, and Newcastle aren't on our level. But Newcastle are better than West Ham. And the way that we dominated Newcastle is just it was impressive to watch. That game easily could have been 8-0, 8-1. I mean, it was so my headline coming out of that game is just domination. It's just one word, domination.
Can I just do a follow-up so you can explain it better to me and maybe someone else who might not understand your way of thinking? Did you go into the Newcastle game with a negative frame of mind that we might, drop some points? Did you go into the game that way?
I'll say probably the best way I could put it was I was a little apprehensive that we may have reverted back. So my question going into the game, as I said last week after Porto, was, which Arsenal now are we going to get against Newcastle? Thinking that Newcastle are just going to sit back, try to absorb pressure, go for the 0-0 draw, not really come at us. And are we going to be able to break it down? Are we going to be the team that we've been since coming back from Dubai? Or are we going to be the pre-Dubai team that everybody loves, we can dominate possession, but we can't finish our dinner. And it's a struggle, and it's 0-0. And boy, oh boy. I'm sorry. Go ahead. It probably makes me ask more questions about what went wrong in Porto than anything else. And to something that Ryan said last week after Porto, and I throw my hands up when I'm wrong and admit when I'm wrong, and I was wrong and Ryan was right. He said he wasn't worried at all.
I hear a lot of that lately.
Hey, nice. Man, you know what? Nice. Listen,
real nice.
I won't argue just to try to save face. I was wrong, and I was worried. I was apprehensive. You, sir, were brimming with confidence going into this game. And for good reason. And Glenn, I think you were too, given some
Yes,
comments
yes.
that
Yeah, I know. I
you know,
texted you a couple times because I saw some tweets that you're. What do you call them now? It's X, so I don't know whatever have you call it. That's why I sent you some
would they
DMs. I'm
be
like,
would they
what are you
be
doing?
sex? Could they be?
All
No.
right, forget it. Anyway,
No.
all right. Thank you for clarifying that. It wasn't like you were the only person I saw that was worried going into the Newcastle game. And I'll be completely honest, and then I'll give you my headline. I'll be completely honest about the Newcastle game. My heart and my mind were wrestling between 2-1 Arsenal and 3-1 Arsenal, and I thought it would be a tough game. Okay. Wow. My headline would be only a couple of things that I've seen that really, really bother me. So my headline is copying the couple of things I've seen from reputable sources. My headline is, quote, "So now we're the favorites for the Premier League title?" ? Unquote. I hate that so much. It's a 3-team race. And we're not going to win 4 or 5-0 every week, and we all know that. I'm sorry to even state the obvious like that, but I don't like talk like that where we're the favorites. This thing's going down to the wire. I'm confident. Hopefully Timber will come back. I agree with BG. It's probably a month away, the way that Arteta's talking in his press conferences, and that's where I'm at right now. Ryan, you ready?
I think it'll be longer than a month, but that's just me.
Oh, okay.
I've been wrestling with two headlines. I don't know. No, I'm going with one. You have one word, PG. I'm going to do one word, revenge. That's just it.
I like it.
I like that.
I was at the New Haven Gooners Bar. Fucking fantastic place. Everyone needs. I mean, I just love going to Arsenal bars. It's so much fun. I love it. Love the atmosphere. I haven't been to one that isn't just oozing with just, I don't know, fun. It's just fun singing, doing all the crazy stuff and chants and whatever.
It almost feels like you're there. It almost feels like you're
Yeah.
there. And while Ryan's telling this great story, Glenn, AFC New York, I filmed Ryan in a pub for the Liverpool game. Fantastic time.
Yeah. But yeah, I was there for the Newcastle game this season, and the place was fun, but watching it all unfold, watching their goal go in, and watching VAR check for 3 or 4 different things, and everyone around the bar is like, okay, like they'll overturn it because of this. They'll overturn it because of this. Oh, they didn't do that. Oh, they'll do it with that. And I think it was by the second or third thing they were checking, I was like, oh, they're trying to get this goal to stand, or else they would have just been like, whatever, just get like, there's too many like iffy things going on, so we'll just outlaw it. No, they want to stand, and everyone was kind of like looking at me like I was an idiot, and like, no, dude, be positive. Like, what are you talking about? There's no, like, you're an idiot. Like, this goal is definitely gonna be overturned. Sure as shit, the goal stood. It sucked. I think the goal was around the 64th, 65th minute. So the rest of the game, I was just staring. And normally, I'm pretty boisterous when I'm watching the game, as if the players and Arteta can hear me. But I just stared, and I was just like, this is like actually happening. But anyways, to bring it all together, yes, revenge. We showed them who's the boss, and it certainly wasn't them. And we brought it to them, and it was very funny because, you look, when, in my opinion, because I know me and Tanner think a little differently about the games. The West Ham game, they tried to play a low block, didn't work. They were kind of caught between two tails. Neither worked. We dominated them. Burnley, they tried to play their game. They had like 1 or 2 moments of success. I don't even know if I want to call it success, but they played their game, and we punished them for it. This game, Newcastle, they didn't play anything. They didn't play their game. I don't know what their mission was. I don't know what they were trying to do. They didn't do anything. This was, out of the 3 games, this was by far our most dominant game. At least, definitely out of 3. You could argue maybe even of the season. I don't know what their plan was. They didn't have an answer to anything. Bruno was completely shut down. That's kind of is, I would say, like, it is their like Declan Rice, Odegaard, Partey, Jorginho type player in the midfield that they kind of rely on to like start things, create things, and sometimes even finish things. We bullied him, and we knew going in he was going to be the guy, and we really took charge of that. And getting revenge on him and getting revenge on Newcastle, especially the way we did it too. Like we didn't even let West Ham played a game, Burnley played a game. We were just better than them. Newcastle, we didn't let play anything. I can't even think of. I wish there was. Off the top of my head, I can't think of a better word than dominating. But we did. Dominating is being nice to them.
Can I just add one thing to what I said before that I forgot to say? Because I want to be completely honest, because I got on BG's case for being, a little bit worried. For exactly 5 seconds, I was disappointed with Havertz in the striker role. But I don't question Arteta anymore because I'm tired of apologizing to the dude.
Wait, you were disappointed with Havertz against
he
Newcastle?
was against Newcastle. That's all. I was just for 5 seconds.
I thought he had a fantastic game.
Did I say I was bitter?
No. I'm just saying. I'm not trying to single you out. Shout out to Connor. Fuck you, Connor. He thinks Kai, and Glenn met him, and Glenn saw Connor was so eager to point out Kai's mistakes and what's he doing with Kai? He wasn't watching Arsenal; he was watching Kai Havertz. But that breakaway, yeah, he should have kind of chipped. He should have kind of chipped it and curved it in. Instead, he tried to go low and around. It didn't work out. It sucks. But I think and it's something that we might actually end up even talking about later, so I don't want to get too into it, but his off-the-ball movement is unmatched, and I think that's a big reason why we bought him. We bought him because of his off-the-ball movement, because of the positions he takes up. He doesn't just take up positions as a 9. He takes up positions as a left wing, as a 10. Sometimes he's pushed out wide and switches with Martinelli, Trossard, even Saka once or twice. I think he's just a perfect off-the-ball player for us, especially for a team where some even non-Arsenal fans say we're the best off-the-ball team in the world. Kind of hard to argue against it, to be honest.
I just want to add for anybody that doesn't know, I've texted Ryan about Kai Havertz. We both agree he's a special player, and we love that he's on Arsenal. I just want to state again, for 5 seconds before the game, when I saw the lineup, I'm like, all right, whatever. That's the way it was. I'm not saying it was a mistake. Obviously, it wasn't a mistake, Ryan. So
no, I know. Who did you want to play instead of him? Trossard?
I wanted Trossard, yeah.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying. I thought he deserved to stay in the starting 11 for 5 seconds.
You're entitled to your opinion, Glenn. It's wrong, but you're entitled to it.
It was wrong for 5 seconds. I should have said it. I was trying to be honest, and now all of a sudden you have me like with Connor yelling at the shit at the TV. I was over it before the first kick. Now, please, BG, what's the name? I want to talk about Partey real quick because I know Ryan doesn't want to talk about it. Yeah. So,
go for it,
if you want me to do 30 seconds on Partey, I'll do that. Okay,
sure.
With
20 sounds better, but I'm just kidding.
Did he had groin surgery? Is that a definite? BG.
I mean, that's what we're hearing. Chelsea have just gone ahead of Leeds in the FA Cup 3-2 on the 86th minute, by the way. So the story now coming out of The Athletic is that Thomas Partey could be available for selection against Sheffield United, but the injury that he had was not a thigh injury, it was a groin, and he supposedly has now, again, according to The Athletic, had surgery on that groin. And so I will take a step back and say that, okay, if there's a surgery, then okay. I've come down on him for being out this long with a strained thigh muscle is how I described it. That's what I thought it was. If it's groin surgery, I was wrong, and I apologize for that as well, because that's not a quick thing to come back from, or a thing that you come back from quickly, I guess I should say. So,
All
but
right.
anyway, go ahead.
I'm going to try to do 30 seconds here. And I want to start, because I don't want to be misrepresented when Ryan goes after me, that Ryan, I agree, unless he's wearing a shirt, I don't give a shit. All right. You know, unless he's wearing the kit and playing, I don't give a shit. I think that we're being lied to about Partey, and that's what bothers me. If it's not hard to find, but him and his wife had a gender reveal party. I don't even know what that is. So I'm not judging. I'm old. I don't know what that is. And he kicked a soccer ball, a football, and it exploded into, I guess, the color that the baby was. And ever since he did that kick at the party on that video, which you can find anywhere on YouTube, he hasn't kicked the ball for Arsenal. And I understand if that's when he hurt himself. Okay? Because I would try to cover it up too. All right? I'm telling you what sex my kid is going to be. I kick a ball, and all of a sudden I don't play for 6 months. Usually it takes a kid 5 years to ruin everything about your life. The kid isn't even born yet. And I think that it's a cover-up, and fuck them. Just sell them. That's all.
I'm just going to let
way longer than 30 seconds.
I just wanted to let that float out there into the ether for a minute, because yeah, wow. I don't really. Ryan, I know you don't care, and I know you. Do you have anything you want to add on the Thomas Partey
We can end it right now, Ryan. If you just move on to the next.
As far as I'm concerned, he's not. As far as I'm concerned, he's not part of the team until he's on the pitch playing, unless he's on the pitch playing for Arsenal. I guess I agree a little bit with Glenn. Something's not. I don't think. I'm not going to talk about gender reveals or colors of.
I don't even know what it is.
Yeah, I don't want to get into all that, but something else is going on that we're not aware of. I just think. Yeah, someone's lying to us. I don't know what. I don't know if it's the player. I don't know if the player's lying to the team. I don't know if something's going on. That's all I'll say. And I just don't care. He's been gone for so long. I kind of just forgot of him as a player. And yeah, obviously, having Declan Rice and Jorginho, who to me have personality traits. Granted, I would say Rice and Jorginho equal Partey, but at least they both have similar characteristics to Partey. I don't really care. As far as I'm concerned, we sold him in the summer because he was linked in so many ways. I think we're probably going to sell him in the summer. I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't play a single game for Arsenal ever again. So, yeah, like I said, I don't really care unless he's wearing an Arsenal shirt on the pitch for Arsenal.
I don't disagree with anything you said there. The only thing I will say about it is, if he's healthy and he plays for us, there's certainly a role for him here. I would be very interested to see how he gels. He's been gone for so long, and we've played so well without him now that I would be very curious to see how he meshes with this team now, if he can somehow get himself back into it. But I've said before with him, and I'll say it again, less is more. Start him, play him for 6. If he starts, play him for 60 minutes and take him off. And we now know that we have the depth behind him if he starts to not lose a lot of quality, and I, like I say, he's not a 90-minute player. He's just not. He's probably 60 or 70 at best, and leave it at that. And, take him off, put Jorginho on. Hell, you could throw El Neni in there as well. So I want to see him come back because of the depth that he can bring to us. And if he starts, he puts someone on the bench that has been starting. And if he goes to the bench, that just automatically boosts the talent level on the bench. So that's really all I have to say on the Partey thing. I was wrong about the injury. Not an easy thing to come back from, especially try to come back quickly. Hopefully, this is all pointing in the right direction. And to Ryan's point about playing being sold, I would say, what are you watching?
The end of the Chelsea game. They had a corner.
Okay.
They had a corner.
Yeah,
The lead guy was wide open, and I think it was too high.
We're going to get into this in a minute because this affects Arsenal. But I would say that I want to see him play this season because I do think he will be sold in the summer. And if the last if the last thoughts of him are all of the injuries, what are we really going to get for him? We're talking, we were talking last summer about potentially, a £50 million price tag on him. I don't think that's the case now. I would say probably 30 at best, but that's still a good chunk of change to get for a guy that's had the injuries that he's had. Go ahead, Glenn.
I'm just gonna, you're right. Who wouldn't want to see him come back? Because that's win-win. If he comes back, we can get a little more for him when we sell him. Agreed, 100%.
Yeah. But yeah, and like I said again, the other thing too is boosting the quality of the depth on the bench. So I don't see him coming back. There's no downside to him coming back whatsoever. So the Chelsea result, Chelsea have now advanced in the FA Cup. This means that our match with them that was originally scheduled for the 16th of March in roughly 2 weeks will now be postponed. Here is my question for both of you and for everybody in the chat. This is why I brought this up, by the way. Real Ryan is in the chat. Everybody say hi to the Real Ryan. He's in there.
Hey, Real Ryan.
Are you more in the camp of good, give us an extra week to prepare for Manchester City? Or are you in the camp of, I want to play that game because I want to maintain sharpness because we get the week off before Manchester City? So we now will play Sheffield on Monday, Brentford Saturday, the following Saturday, Porto on Tuesday, what day of the week is that? The 12th. We do not play again until we play Manchester City in nearly 3 weeks' time.
Wow.
We'll have 19 days between games based on this result. Glenn, would you rather have all the time off, or would you rather have the game in there against Chelsea?
All right, here's the way my thought process went. Okay, I weighed both things in there. At first, I was like, good. It gives Arteta more time, just like when we went to Dubai and came back in a whirlwind. And then the other part of me said, oh, wait, that's a lot of time to lose momentum. But the first thought overcame the second thought. I think it's a positive to have that extra time, thanks to our manager. That's it.
Ryan?
Funny enough, I am the opposite. I think it's a double-edged sword. You want to maintain the match sharpness, but in the same respect, like, okay, if we play Chelsea and they have some, Forrest just scored. Sorry, Forrest just scored against United. Oh, it's great to see.
What's the score?
It's 1-0. Oh wait, no, that's United. I thought United was red. Seems like you can't.
United scored.
I looked at him like, oh, that's Casemiro. He plays for United. Piece of. Anyways, sorry.
Oh my God, that's the worst thing I've seen since Boom Goes to Dynamite. Okay, go ahead.
I'm minimized. I'm sorry, I'm minimized. Anyways, no, so it's a double-edged sword. You want to kind of prepare for a team like City, but in the same respect, and like there's injuries that could happen in the Chelsea game, which is something that I think that's more of a thing. I think I'm nervous about playing Chelsea before City because they have guys that aren't afraid to get booked. They aren't afraid to injure people. Let me put it bluntly. They have those players, but I go back to, I guess I'm agreeing with Glenn, is I go back to my original gut is that I want to play Chelsea before City. I I want to that sharpness. I want sort of like pseudo dress rehearsal. It's not really a look ahead game, but I want us to just stay with the system, stay with what we're doing. Again, I think the way we play, the system, and like the different ways we interact with the way other teams play, the way we interact with the open space, the way players are changing positions. I think that's something that you need familiarity with the more you play. And I think the more time off is not a good thing for us. And like Ryan said, I think unless we're going to Dubai, I don't think it's a good thing for us.
Guys, I have to disappear for 90 seconds. I'm not going to hear or hear anything you say. Okay, I'll be right back. All right.
Okay. I'm putting on a different game now.
Yeah, well, they're reviewing this Casemiro goal for offside.
Oh my God. Well, someone's offside.
Someone is definitely offside, but I don't know if it's
Whatever.
Casemiro.
Yeah.
But anyway, the double-edged sword is absolutely right. And I actually, considering if it were a week off, if we were going, Chelsea Saturday, then going into City the following Sunday, I would be okay with Chelsea winning and that game being postponed. This is now almost 3 weeks in between matches, and I don't like that at all. I like it for guys getting fit. Whoa. I have my phone in a little thing here and just dipped over.
Dude, I'm sorry. I feel, but I hate talking about another game. And I feel I'm sorry to everyone that's watching, and I want to have like a show but like I can't stand VAR, and like they're zooming in on different parts of the play. Like this is insane. This is why VAR isn't working. VAR doesn't make the people operating VAR are absolutely incompetent, and it's asinine watching them trying to check for offsides. They're not drawing any lines. They're not doing anything. They're just literally they have the still screen of it looks like Rashford was offsides, not Casemiro, and they're just zooming in and like moving around the screen like they've never been on a computer before. It's actually insane. And the goal was given, but
the goal was given.
I just wow, like watching that. It was like watching like a 4-year-old discover like an iPad or a computer and like figure things out. And, like, I was like listening to you, but I was watching them do VAR, and I'm like, oh my God.
My phone fell over. I'm in the middle of time. I'm like, back. So the goal stands. It's 0-1 to United. Anyway, I agree with Ryan here. I want to maintain sharpness. 3 weeks off that's a long time, and that is 19 days. It is hard to maintain a level of sharpness for that long, in the middle of a season. So
what's our last game before the 13 days off? I'm sorry. I lost my train of thought.
19 days
19.
off.
What was the last game before the 19?
Brentford.
Okay. Thank you. Sorry to interrupt.
No, I'm sorry. No, it's the second leg of Porto in the Champions League.
Okay.
So it's we go Tuesday, and then we don't play again for 2 Sundays. So yeah, it's a long stretch. As I said, I would be okay with it. I'd actually love it if it were 1 week. If we were playing Porto, don't play the game, but then come back the following weekend and play then, getting maybe 10 days off or something. That would be ideal. This is brutal.
All right. I just want to say this because I just thought of it. And I think if you did a pros and cons list of having that time off, that the pros would outweigh the cons. Because I can't argue with what you guys are saying, but I keep thinking about, wow, that's a long time. Okay, that's a long time for people to get healthy whose names rhyme with Bimber. And
he's not getting healthy in 19 days, Glenn. There's no way.
Oh, look. All I'm saying is for squad, do we know if Zinchenko's playing against Sheffield United? It does. I think it shouldn't matter who we play against Sheffield United, but is Zinchenko playing? Is Tomiyasu healthy? I know it's still a ways away, but let's get healthy for the stretch run. Give Arteta time to prepare like Dubai. It doesn't matter if we're in Dubai or not. He's got that time. I think that the pros outweigh the cons. And I swear that's the last thing I'll say about it.
I don't know. I disagree. I think the same amount of days are passing by. The only difference is there's just a game in there. And I think the play like the tyrannies, Jesus. I don't know why. Every time I go, I think there's something wrong with me because I've done this multiple shows where I go to say Zinchenko's name and just tyranny comes out my mouth. Like I'm thinking of Zinchenko, I'm about to say the Z, and I just say tyranny. I don't know why. It's very, very bizarre. But anyways, the Zinchenko, the Jesus.
It's because my stupid face reminds him of Tierney because I love that guy so much.
If anything, it's better for the teams. It's we talk about recovering from injuries and being available for City. I think the Chelsea game having it is better because you need to get these guys minutes. You can't. I don't want Zinchenko getting his first game back against City. I don't want Jesus getting his first game back against City. I don't want Partey getting his first game back against City. I don't want that. So to me, the recovering from injuries, it would be better if we had the Chelsea game, not if we didn't have the Chelsea game. Because regardless, the same amount of days are passing by. The same amount of days are going to pass by for these players to recover. But if anything, it kind of gives them like a chance to hey, you need a couple minutes. You need to kind of get match fit, match ready because we need you to come on and play meaningful against City.
It gives Pep more to worry about.
Well,
that's all. More to prepare for.
Ryan's point.
What do you mean it gives them more to prepare for? If anything, if we had the Chelsea game, we'd be playing more. We'd be playing different players, and it would then give Pep more. It would then give Pep more to prepare for.
I'm not going to tell you how to feel about all that time off. I said my case. No. You're in the jury. You say whatever. You know what I'm trying to say. I pleaded my case. I do. It didn't work.
I do. I just respectfully disagree. That's all.
I think the thing for me is this. All right, the players who are currently injured, Tomiyasu, Zinchenko, Partey, Timber, nothing for them is changing.
Yeah.
Okay. Nothing there is changing for them. I may have to move. I may need one of you to take over here because I have an old dog who just pees everywhere. I don't know what she's going to do here. She just refuses to not be in the same room as me, and she doesn't lay very comfortably on the floor despite everything that I have set up in this room for her. Hang on a minute.
It's all right. Doggy pee pads, by the way. Put them down. She'll figure it out.
I know. She's like going into the closet now trying to figure out where she can lay that's comfortable. But anyway, the thing is with the injured guys, the time off doesn't really matter. They're going to do what they're going to do with that time regardless. The thing for me is the players that are healthy, it does, and it is beneficial to give them an opportunity to recharge the batteries. So I like it from that standpoint, but you sacrifice sharpness in that. And 3 weeks off is like, wow, because as we've said before, you can't simulate game speed in training. And I agree with Ryan on the playing the Chelsea match before City as a tune-up and, getting guys integrated back in if they're going to return from injury, because now what we're saying is there are 3 games potentially for Zinchenko, Tomiyasu, Partey, if they are fit. Jesus, although I think he is fit now, he was on the bench. We have Sheffield on Monday, we have Brentford Saturday, we have Porto Tuesday, and that's it. And then we're off for 19 days. So, even if these guys come back from injury, how much playing time are they really going to get? How integrated back into things are they really going to get with, especially like Zinchenko, I'm not overly worried about because he hasn't missed that much time. But, Tomiyasu coming back from the Asia Cup and Thomas Partey has been out for 6 months. Tell me Forrest just tied it.
After Ryan after
The
Ryan
goalie had like
explains
the
what
goalie had a
happened.
sitter and he missed it on a corner for Brighton.
wow.
Watch
That's
that
a
Brighton
shame.
Wolves game.
Go
I'm
ahead,
sorry.
Glenn.
Are you done, BG? Or otherwise, I'll
Yeah,
wait.
go ahead. Yeah. No,
Fucking
go ahead.
idiot.
Look. I just want to say that this is subjective. Okay, this is really subjective what we're talking about here because it's how people look at it. And I'm not. You guys are bringing up good points, and I'm not being condescending here. I am not being condescending, but I think you can look at the facts of Dubai. And I went to that first game back January 20th. My video will be posted in the next couple of days, and we haven't lost a game since then. And
Bite your fucking tongue.
That's evidence enough to me. And well, not counting Porto, we haven't lost a game since then. So I just, I can't ignore that evidence right in front of me that much time off is detrimental. I want to be like Ryan. I respectfully disagree with you guys.
No, and you're right. It is all in how you perceive the time off. Yeah, do me a favor. I don't know, vamp or something. She's driving me nuts. She's gonna piss and shit up here on my carpet, and I'm gonna have a mess to clean up. Glenn, take over. Talk about your video or something. I'll be right back.
If we were broadcasting from my downstairs, I would be having the same problem BG is having right now. Yeah. So Ryan,
my wife's not home, so I don't have to worry about that.
Ryan, how are you feeling going forward? How do you feel about a lot of people talking about we're title contenders? That makes me crazy. I talked about that in the opening of the show, and I really wanted to see how you feel about that. Does that make you crazy? Because I remember last year when we were cruising along and the color commentator called Arsenal Premier League title champions elect, and I wanted to just go through the TV and smack his face with an open hand smack. I don't like talk like that. How do you feel about now we're the title favorites? Maybe you believe we're the title favorites.
Well, I guess my first question to you would be where did you hear we were title favorites?
I saw it in a couple of thumbnails, and it made me crazy.
I don't think we're title favorites. I think we're in the title race. I think it's us, City, and Liverpool, and I don't really think. I mean, I guess you could say City are always going to be the favorites just because like they've been there, done that. They have the squad depth. They have the team. Liverpool are curing a lot of injuries. And yeah, I think City are always gonna be that favorite, and we haven't done it with the squad yet. But yeah, we're always there. We're always gonna be challenging. We're always gonna be in that race. I hope. But I mean, we're playing dominant football. We're conceding less than everybody. We're scoring more than everybody. I think maybe City might have a goal or two more than us for Liverpool. But yeah, I really, I don't know. I don't really feel it any way about it because I just don't. I guess I'm annoyed because I don't consider ourselves favorites. I just don't agree. I think it's just always going to be a 3-team title race until one or both teams are mathematically out of it.
I agree with everything you said. But there's one big thing this year that makes it feel different for me. Right now, and that's that we seem to care about goal differential. We never seemed to care about that before, and we just pretty much keep our foot on the gas. And I'm loving every second of it.
Yeah, let me add. I have no idea what you guys said in the last 3 minutes or so.
Oh, I knew to kill time. All I had to do was ask Ryan a question. I'm kidding, Ryan. That was a great answer. I asked Ryan if he thought we were title favorites.
Wow. All right, Ryan, what was your answer, real quick, just so I know?
I don't consider us favorites. I think it's a 3-horse race. It's going to be a 3-horse race until one or both teams are mathematically out of it. And I think City are always. I think City are always going to be technically the quote unquote favorites because they've been there, done that. Have a squad depth, have the squad, but we're definitely not the favorites. But we're definitely in a race, and we're looking to kind of take our horse to the next level.
Yeah, City are the favorites. Just, I mean, A, they're the defending champs. B, I believe they still have a game in hand, or no?
Yeah, City. Yeah.
So
I'm not sure
Well,
about that. Can I
no,
just ask you guys?
They do not
did.
have.
know
They
we're
do
gonna
not.
drift
They
off.
do not.
I thought
I
they
will.
did. Didn't they
I
play
will say
February?
this:
Well, they don't.
we
I
play
just
them, and they play Liverpool. So, we're done with Liverpool. Each team's destiny is in their own hands. Then that's really all you can ask for.
that's too early to say that.
What do you
Can
mean?
I just really
It's a
I
statement.
want to ask you guys. I just want to ask you guys
Actual
to
statement.
answer this, and then I promise I'll shut up and let the show go on. Does it? I agree with you guys like 75% of the time. Does it feel to you guys like we are actually paying attention to goal differential and going for it a little more in games?
No. I said this last show. The players do
Okay.
not think about goal differential. Do they think about scoring goals after goal? Yeah, they want to score as many. They want to beat the team to a
now
pulp. I get that, but they're not like, oh well, if we score 5 here, we're going to be 3 more. We're going to have 3 more.
I
goal
remember your
differential than
answer
the other team.
now. I remember your answer. I remember
Yeah,
how
sorry.
infuriating it was. Okay.
Glenn, I'm sorry. Also, too, like as someone who's played in sports, and yeah, did I play professional level? No, I did not. But I've been playing soccer since I was 3. Yes, I'm going to say soccer because that's what it's called here. I apologize to all our overseas viewers. Playing soccer since I was 3 years old. I was on league teams. I was on travel teams. So standings matter. Goal differential has mattered. That's came into play. As a team, and as a player, I've never thought about that. It's always just like you want to win, like almost like a survive in advance. Like, yeah, if it's the last game and if we win and the other team wins that we're chasing, and then it comes down to goal differential, yeah, maybe that last game, but you don't. Or better example. I just got done with my I'm in an over 30s team. I play goalie. We had the second to last game 2 weeks ago. My one buddy, it's funny. My one buddy is the outlier. My one buddy, Teddy, shout out Teddy, comes up to me, goes, "Listen, we got to win, obviously, but goal differential. You need to." But he said nothing about them scoring, nothing about him scoring.
Okay.
Goal differential. You need
This
to keep
makes me crazy.
Yeah, well, you act like this is.
Don't yell. I don't want to lower my volume.
This.
You made your
I'm
point.
not.
You made your point, and it's like
I'm just saying,
it's so different from what I am saying. It's making me bananas. If Arteta cares about goal differential, he's going to tell them to keep their foot on the gas. It doesn't matter what the fucking players are thinking. They're listening to the manager.
You just asked me, do the players think about goal differential? You just asked me that.
Does it feel like we are? If I said players, it was my mistake, and I apologize. But it's not the players on the field and what they're thinking. They're listening to the fucking manager. And I'm saying that I think the manager is pushing them a little bit more in games where we're up 2-0 to keep going. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying get inside their fucking heads.
Okay, fine. I'll get inside Mikel Arteta's head. I don't agree. I don't agree. I think every game is the same. You want to win, and you want to win. If it was up to them, they'd win 20-0 every game. Like, it's just, that's any team. You go talk to Sheffield United, talk to Wilder. At the end of the day, like, if they're up 2-0, they want to keep going. Like, any team would keep going. No team's like, two's fine. Let's stop. Like, yeah, are you going to make subs? Sure. Like ESR, Reece Nelson. Who else came on? Eddie, I think so. And I know Trossard came on, but I think someone else came on. Like, they're gonna play and they're gonna try to score as many goals. But I mean, yeah, like, obviously, like, our team as an 11, I guess, dips a little bit in terms of skill level, but they're gonna keep pushing to score. Like, that's just how it's gonna be.
Devil's advocate.
Every time I try to defend myself. Go ahead.
As we've watched this team pre-Dubai, we've seen that they had a tendency to take their foot off the gas. 2-0 up, 50 minutes, and they're just kind of lollygagging around out there, and they're not really paying attention. So I've seen this team get 2-0 up, 3-0 up, and just coast. And
I'm sorry, go ahead.
So a little bit of devil's advocate here, or Glenn's advocate, maybe, that I don't know that it's Arteta. Something somewhere clicked in Dubai with them, because the team that I've seen since they got back is different from what I saw pre-holiday season. All right. I didn't see this constant go at them, constantly go forward. I saw prior to the Dubai trip in matches where we're up 2-0. I'm gonna stop there because there weren't many games where we were up 3-0. We were up 2-0 and we're on cruise control. Now, and I don't know what it is that clicked, but something definitely did because we are different now. I don't think that the mentality is goal differential. I think the mentality is, Bronx Gunner said it perfectly, killer instinct. And I've said it before, it's not our job to stop scoring goals. It's the other team's job to stop us. And I think we finally, somehow, some way, for some reason, whether it be manager, which I think it is, we're not just stopping. We're not satisfied with 4. If it's 4-0 on 75 minutes, we're not satisfied. Go ahead, Glenn. I'm sorry.
I just want to add a couple of things. First of all, Ryan, that is the loudest keyboard I've ever heard in my life. Second,
Glenn, I'm muted. How do you hear me? I'm muted.
I heard the keyboard. It's okay. It's all good.
Yeah,
dude.
we did hear the keyboard.
Yes, I'm not. Do you hear me now? Do you hear me talking now?
No.
Yes.
Yes. Ryan,
Wait,
I was just.
Oh,
it's
fuck,
all good. It's all good. Shut up.
My bad.
Would you shut up? Look, as far as goal differential, okay, I see it. Others don't see it, but I see a manager that's trying to take and press every advantage he can get. He's turned corner kicks into a major weapon for us, and I think that he's totally aware of goal differential. And there's no way I can prove it. So Ryan, you don't have to, yell at me again. There's no way I can prove it. It's just what I see.
I wasn't listening. I was too busy fixing my mic. Now I was talking. So this whole time I was talking through my webcam. Now I'm talking through my microphone. So yeah, I fudged up a little bit. So hopefully the sound quality should be a little better. But yeah, anyways,
it does sound a little more rich.
The biggest thing for me is it's not. I don't think the mentality. I don't think the conversation is, hey guys, goal differential. We got to think about it. I don't think that's the conversation. Conversation is probably more keep going. Like there are no points for I'm gonna kind of contradict myself here. There are no style points in this league. It's not like beating a team by 6 goals gets us an extra point. It doesn't. A win is a win, period. But I think it's and look, it goes more to style of play and what we want to do. And, taking our foot off the gas lets teams back into games. We've seen it, and we've seen it multiple times this year. First game of the season, we dominated Nottingham Forest at home. Absolutely dominated them. And we took our foot off the gas at 2-0, and we did nothing in the second half of that game. And they got a goal, and it was squeaky bum time at the end. I was waiting for them to tie the game. Fast forward 2 weeks to Fulham at home, same thing. We go up 2-0, take our foot off the gas, they come back and tie the game, and that's how it ends. Imagine playing the way we're playing right now, but keeping our foot on the gas, or playing the way we're playing right now and keeping our foot on the gas. And that's 2 points gained over Fulham. And guess what, folks? We're now level on points with Liverpool and top of the league based on goal differential. So what I see, as I said, a much different side prior to the holidays, but I don't think the conversation, like I said, isn't goal differential. I think it's just, no.
At least whatever they're doing, we all agree, keep doing it, keep going.
Obviously, yeah. I mean, long may this run. Yeah. Long may this run continue, fellas. We really hit pretty much everything I had listed as far as topics go today.
Okay, well, it would be nice for me to end without my wife's annoying texts. Just if you want us to, just chat up what we're thinking, or goodbye, or whatever, or you want to keep going.
I don't think so, Glenn.
What?
I need to ask you a question.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
I
is
forgot
this
about
the
this. Here we
thing?
go.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
thing
this
you
is the
wanted
thing.
to do.
So
ahead.
I'm very curious. I'll be very general about
Wait,
it.
let me just set this up before you do it. At the beginning of the show, these guys informed me of a ruse where they're going to disagree with me or fight with me or something.
Don't do it. Okay. Don't put it up.
I'm not.
Yeah, but yeah, Ryan. Okay. I'm very curious for your thoughts about Jakob Kivior. I know you've been a big
you know what?
You've been big anti-Kivior, and I think he's had a sensational run of games. I mean, is this to say, he took Zinchenko or Tomiyasu's spot? I don't know. I just think we have another horses for course, another guy that could do a job, not necessarily a Zinchenko job, not necessarily a Tomiyasu job, but a Kivior job.
I know what you're saying.
No, I just wanted to finish.
I get it. And I'm going to disappoint you because last show I told you I think it was last show, forgive me if it wasn't, where I liked how Ben White was inverting. And then I'm watching the last game, and every time I look on the wing, Kivior's way up there playing like a maniac and playing great. I'm like, holy shit, where'd this guy come from? I haven't complained about him in 2 or 3 games, and now he's looking fucking fantastic. So I'm sorry if you were looking to argue with me, but based on the last 3 games I've seen, I don't give a shit if he's in the lineup anymore. He's doing his job, and that's all I ask a player to do. So sorry, I would love to argue. You could run tape of me saying, "Oh my God, he effing sucks. What? Put him out on loan." What do you want me to say? It looks like I was wrong.
No, yeah, I wasn't looking to argue. I was just curious because it's something I wrote in my notes for the game. I just think it's. Can
I ask you something, Ryan? Because I was researching this, and maybe you can answer it, but I haven't found it yet. What did Arteta do differently? The Kivior was bombing up front last game. I couldn't figure it out.
I just think he understands the system more. I think he's getting. Something that I really noticed more was when he first kind of got a couple run of games. People were passing through him. They weren't really getting him involved. He was just kind of a player that took up, space on the field. Whereas now he's receiving the ball, he's carrying the ball, he's making important passes. He's getting more involved. He's getting more confident. He scored and a nice header. I think it's just a confidence thing. I think he's understanding the system more. It's not, again, going back to the same old thing, but Arteta's scheme, his system, whatever you want to call it, it's not something that you can learn overnight. I think it takes time to adapt to. It takes time to learn. It's levers, it's pulleys, it's cogs, it's whatever. It's whatever. It's not easy to learn. I think he's finally coming into his own a little bit, and it's really good to see because he's definitely a player that I think we could definitely utilize and use maybe in other positions for depth purposes. But yeah, no, I was just curious because Kivior is making a notable role for himself in this team in games.
It took me a long time in my life to learn the lesson of it's a virtue to admit when you're wrong. And it really does appear I was wrong about Kivior. And if he somehow sees this, I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry. I'm not, like the Arteta out guys that wait for us to drop points and announce the world is ending. I'll admit when I'm wrong. And it appears I was very wrong about Mr. Kivior.
Well, I think the thing with Kivior is he's understanding the system and how he's supposed to play at left back. Let's not forget that he's more of a natural center back than he is a fullback. And especially playing fullback in Mikel Arteta's system and what he wants to do. It's not easy. There's definitely a learning curve there. And playing that role, especially seeing what Zinchenko does. And the other thing too, I'll say this, be your own player. Don't try to do what the guy ahead of you does.
Ryan, we hear your thing again.
Do play your game. Play your game within the system. Don't try to be someone else. And I think that's now what he's doing, because I don't see him cutting inside and progressing the way that Zinchenko does. He does something different. He stays wider than Zinchenko. There's not a lot of overlapping with Martinelli. I don't know that there's any overlapping with Martinelli whatsoever, to be honest with you. But I do think that there's a relationship brewing there, and I kind of like what he's unlocking in Martinelli, because, to be honest, I don't see that with Zinchenko. I see Zinchenko as a guy that wants to move into the midfield and slow everything down. I will tell you this, and Ryan will yell at me and everything else.
I'm going to yell at you too.
I got to tell you, if Zinchenko comes back into this lineup and we revert back to this slow, methodical, choreographed dance where people forget where they're supposed to be, as we've described this before, if Zinchenko comes back into the lineup and that's what starts happening again, I want him out. I am not enamored with Zinchenko coming back into this lineup, walking straight back into it when he's healthy. I'll tell you this: if Zinchenko
highlight,
if Zinchenko and Tomiyasu are both healthy, and one of those two is going to walk in ahead of Kivior right now, I'd give you Tomiyasu.
I'm sending you a Zinchenko highlight reel because you're forgetting
how
how good that dude is. You're forgetting how good that dude is.
You can send me Zinchenko highlights all day long.
The only thing I would argue,
and the highlights that Zinchenko and what I'll see is Zinchenko running into the midfield, stopping, standing on the ball, looking around, and then kicking it to someone else. That's what I'll see.
It wouldn't be
because that's
it
what he
wouldn't
does.
be fun. It wouldn't be fun if we all agreed all the time. That's all I'll say.
Again,
the only thing I'd argue. The only thing I'd argue and say to you is just that I don't think Zinchenko is the reason why we're playing slow and methodical and like the choreograph.
I agree with that.
It's not Zinchenko. So to like, and I'm not saying you said this, but I'm just saying like to say like, oh well, Zinchenko's coming back. We're gonna start playing slow. We're gonna go back to pre-Dubai. It like who knows? It might happen. Well,
that would have been that was going to be my thing. My comment was going to be. But what if it does happen? What if he comes in? And
that would, I mean, if that's the case, then you sell him in the summer. Like I don't have to tell you.
I see a pattern here. This is a BG's pre-Newcastle thinking. That's what it is. I'm seeing a pattern.
I guess this is what I would hope that if Zinchenko is going to start, that the other 10 players on the pitch drag him forward. If he's going to do what I saw him do pre-Dubai. I saw him do it against Liverpool in the first half before he got hurt. He was doing the same thing. So, and I'm not saying it's him. It's all 11 guys. It's all 11. It's not just one player. But the age-old question, do you lose your starting role to injury? And you look at how we've played without him in the lineup. The question isn't, is Kivior better than Zinchenko? Is Zinchenko or Kivior? Who's the better fit in the system? For me right now, the question is, it's not broken. Why am I going to try to fix it? And given that we have Sheffield on Monday, then we have a week off to Brentford, give it 5 days off to Brentford, and then we have 3 days off to Porto. And then 19 days off before City. My thing, like, I'm not worried. I'm not overly worried right now about rotation for fitness purposes. So why am I going to upset the apple cart? And given how well Kivior has played, and I'm going to pump his tires big time.
Pump his tires. I like
because
that.
I
like that.
Well, I had a bold prediction, as I keep bringing up, and I keep kind of, I'll say shooting myself in the foot with this because I keep bringing it up. But my bold prediction at the beginning of the season was Kivior was going to unseat Zinchenko at left back, and we would look to sell Zinchenko in the summer. Not saying that's happening, but what I am saying is I'm going to pump his tires because he's playing very well right now. That's fantastic, the way that my screen just froze. Jesus.
I just want to say real quick. I bought some time. I have to. Oh, that's a terrible freeze frame, BG.
Hey, both frozen. Oh no, Glenn's back.
No, I just want to say real quick. I have till 5:10. I just finagled a little extra time.
You've got 4 minutes, and that's about how long it's going to take me to reboot my computer to get this thing unfrozen. Unless we want to just end it here.
No, I had something to say now. Oh, no. So honestly, talking about the games that we have upcoming, and until City, and talking about Kivior and Tomiyasu. See, I didn't say Chinny, I said Tomiyasu, Zinchenko and stuff. This makes me even more. No, I don't say. What's the word I'm looking for? I'm more upset that the Chelsea game is getting moved because you have all these players like on the verge of return. I think they said, they said Tomiyasu and Zinchenko were close, or Tomiyasu or Zinchenko and Jesus are close. Two of them are close. I don't remember which two. But Sheffield and Brentford are the perfect games. Like Sheffield and Brentford, more so Sheffield. These are the games where ESR needs to start. Vieira needs to come off the bench and play meaningful minutes. Reece Nelson maybe gets to start. I mean, maybe not both of them, but one of them out of ESR. Reece Nelson starts. Eddie and Kedia will probably get meaningful minutes and not come on if we're up, 5-0, unless we're up 5-0 in the first 10 minutes, which is the way we're playing is very possible. But I think bringing these players back, bringing Tomiyasu back, Jesus, bringing back Zinchenko. You know what? I just figured it out. I go to say Zinchenko and I start to say Tomiyasu, and I know in my brain Tomiyasu is wrong, so I then revert and I just say Tierney. But anyways, I just figured out the equation in my head. But yeah, I think these 3 games leading up to City are important, and I think these 3 games we need to rotate. We need to get guys fit. Well, it's not 3 games anymore. Now it's 2. That's why I'm more upset the Chelsea game is getting moved. And the Porto game. The Porto game is big because something we really kind of didn't talk about. And I'm curious what you think about it, Glenn. Gabriel Jesus, he's been a monster for us in Champions League games. Not doing too well in the Premier League games. I think he needs to get minutes before he starts in against Porto. I don't think we bring him on cold against Porto. I'm curious as to how you feel about Jesus coming back into the 11.
I love ending a show where I yelled at you, where I completely 100% agree with you. I would love to see Jesus start that game. As far as the other stuff you're talking about in our next 3 games before the big 19-day break, for me, I don't know if you agree with this. I'd love to hear if you agree with this. And this will be my ending statement, and I'll just listen to you guys. I think for the next 3 games leading to the big break, it's our best 11, in there, whoever's fit, and then, we get healthy over that 19 days. But like I said, I do one little thing, Jesus, yes, in that game. That's all. I really think it's best 11, and that's it. And I'll listen to you guys.
Did you listen, Glenn? Glenn, I love you.
What?
Did you listen to anything I said before I had said Gabriel Jesus' name?
Yeah, you said you'd like to see him start against Porto, and I agree.
No, I said that we need to rotate, and we need to play ESR. We need to play Reece Nelson. We need to play Eddie and Kedia.
Oh, I see
one of them needs to start. I think Jorginho will. I think I want to see Jorginho play against Porto. I think Jorginho will get 1 or 2 or maybe both games. A lot of people don't have him in the 11. So to give you your last word, because I know you're leaving. I'm going to say no.
That's my wife's new ringtone. I'm not okay. Chemical Romance. Go ahead. My Chemical
Romance. Go on. I just want to give you.
That's her new ringtone.
All right,
Ryan. I'm sorry. I didn't. This will be my final thing. I'm sorry I misunderstood what you said, but you should expect that from me now.
No, I do.
I do like the idea of a rotation, here and there, but I don't want any, full gigantic rotations where we're starting 5 or 6 new people. That I'm not into. You want to do it 2 people. That's all I'm saying. Nobody wants to drop points. We want to beat the piss out of Porto, which I think we're going to do. That's all. I just don't want us taking anything for granted by making too many substitutions. Best 11. And now I'll listen to you guys for like 30 seconds before the door breaks down.
Wow, that would be interesting. Do not cut that camera off if that door gets kicked in.
Yeah, I kind of want to see too.
I need to.
my
We are
finger on
dying to see your wife, by the way.
Just like pick you up and take you out.
Yeah,
my
yeah.
wife looked kind of like Lisa Tomei.
No, I agree. I'm not saying 5 or 6 changes, but like there are players that I still think we've yet to see the best of Reece Nelson. We have the best is yet to see of ESR. Like I think those guys, like I'm pretty sure ESR started against Sheffield when we played him early in the season, if I do remember, and we won 5-0, 5-1. But yeah, I just think that, like, Vieira needs minutes. And again, it just depends on injury. It depends on, is Tomiyasu fit enough to get on the bench? I think Jesus was on the bench for Newcastle. So hopefully he gets like meaningful minutes. And I think, I'm not saying we need to look past Sheffield, but ideally in an ideal world, which I know doesn't happen, especially as an Arsenal fan, you want to be up 2 or 3 goals at halftime and bring on, players like Jesus at halftime, like ESR. And yeah, the screen started shaking. I got a little nervous for Glenn's sake, but yeah, I'm not saying 5 or 6 changes. I'm saying like 1, 2, 3. I mean, it all depends on where these players where the players are, as far as like the ones that are coming back from injury.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's again, it goes back to the double-edged sword for me. I don't want to mess with what isn't broken, but it is. You're exactly right. The Sheffield game is the perfect opportunity to get some of these guys in and get a start for them. And look, I would say that, I'm going to talk myself into agreeing with you that give Reece Nelson and Eddie and Ketia and ESR, give them the starts, give Declan Rice, let Declan Rice sit on the bench for the first 60 minutes, I love him. I don't know that I really wholeheartedly believe this or mean this, but give Elneny a start. Let Jorginho and Elneny start.
I think you need to start players that need a. I mean, yeah, you can, but I'm more so. I want to see players start to need to prove themselves that are might get transferred. Need to secure a spot on this team, whether it's depth purposes or in the starting 11. Because, I mean, let's face it, when we played Porto, like we subbed on Jorginho, that was it.
Yeah,
and I'm very confident against Porto. I think we smashed them. Don't get me wrong, but I don't want to be in that situation again where we're in a tough game. Things are not really going the way we planned, and we have nobody to trust off the bench. Like, I don't want the one sub to be Trossard. It's like, or Jorginho. Right. It's like, okay, we need a little more firepower. We need something else to get us.
Well, and I mean, and let's not also injuries played a big part of that.
No,
would have been there.
But like, if you're playing a team like Sheffield, then if things are again going to plan, you're going to have the opportunity to bring on players that potentially play well enough or get the confidence and then, play well enough to maybe make an impact in the Porto game or just to make an impact in our, if we get past Porto, to make an impact in future Champions League games or to make an impact in the City game, to make an impact, when we play Chelsea down the road or teams that are like, we need to get points off of because, we're not going to be beating teams 5-0, 6-0 till the end of the season. It's just not going to happen. We're going to be in close games. And in those close games, I just want to have other options on the bench.
Right.
It's just,
with options that have confidence and the trust.
And then when you bring them on and you're not happy just because, I'm happy for ESR because I'm happy for ESR. No, I'm happy for ESR or I'm happy because I think ESR can make an impact and really bring us over and turn us up a gear, or Reece Nelson or Vieira or whoever that may be. If it's fucking Cedric, then cool. Like as much as I don't want to see Cedric come on, but if getting minutes to these guys elevates them and makes them better and more trustworthy in games where we might need them, whether it be players that have tired legs or, God forbid, injuries, like we have that at our disposal. It's gonna be big, especially come April and May.
Yeah, for sure. Want to use that as your final word?
Sure.
Did you have anything else? Because I don't. I think we.
I want to save myself for prom run. I want to save myself for the real Ryan. And there's more things we'll talk about it on another show.
Yeah. So we will be back tomorrow afternoon, 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, with the real Ryan for the 3 up, 3 down, which will basically just be us picking probably 4 or 5 guys and really dissecting them. We'll get the real Ryan involved and get his thoughts, on the game against Newcastle overall, looking ahead. Now not playing Chelsea and having 19 days off in between, in between matches. So, and really when you think about it, it's we've got 22 days off between Premier League games. I mean, there's a big difference between Premier League and Champions League play style wise, I think. So 22 days off between Premier League games, 19 days off between games and all comps. But so we'll be back tomorrow, 3 p.m. And we'll get into more with the real Ryan, and that's always a good time. So thank you everybody for watching. This was a real good show. The real Ryan was in the chat for us today. Bronx Gunner was out there. Stan the Sasky Gooner. Scrolling back up through here. Russ Morgan was out there. Stan the Man was in there as well. Mikey Hers, brother from another, was in there as well. Thank you everybody for being with us today. Thank you for interacting. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, please, and get us up to 1,000 subscribers. Be sure to drop a thumbs up on the video if you haven't already, and tell a friend, tell a coworker, tell a family member about the channel, about the show. Get involved. Like I said, we want to hit that 1,000 subscriber mark. That would be a great milestone for us to get to. Thank you once again, everybody. Have a great night. As always, it's been good footy talk. We'll see you out there.